What is going on, everyone? Matthew97657 here, and today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And as the title and thumbnail suggests, it's going to be the SH Figurarts Kamen Rider Gavv caking form. So with that being said, nothing more to it. They get on right on into it, and alas, let's go ahead and take a good look at the box here. We have the caking box, and just look at that first promo image, really intimidating. So Kamen Rider Gavv, caking form, stuff like that. We have our promo image on the side of the box. It's kind of got the three colors going on, the white, the gold, and the red, which is very fitting for the form. I think it looks really nice. This box is doing a very good justice in terms of that. You can see kind of like the small little strawberries on the box, and then some of the like cream, the whipped cream that is used for that. So yeah, what a very cool first impression on the box. So very nice. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And like most of these, they should have instructions. So like that's kind of like your guide in terms of your accessories, your different hand effects, as well as applying the whip here to the figure. So it looks like, yeah, most of the time, although I always forget to show the other side, because usually both sides do have a form of instruction. So I'm going to go ahead and open the other side as well, pretty much just telling you how the figure works. It looks like it's just telling you how it works. Yep, pretty much like be careful. There's parts that might be able to scuff off, and it looks like you can take it off too. So I probably won't be taking it off. I'm always kind of scared. I always ruin stuff like that. So I will not be doing that. But, oh, okay. How very nice. So it looks like the like cape accessory. I didn't really know that it came with the, okay. So it looks like I'm gonna have to apply it. So let's go ahead and set that down there. Let's go ahead and grab the base figure. We'll put it right there for you guys to look at. There it is, the base figure. We do have the whip here, right here as well. Very awesome, delicate sword. And then we do have the alternate hand effects. So there's effect number 1. There is effect number 2, which is a little bit of like a pointing type of design. Although this one I think is a little bit more of a pointing design. And then we only got one piece for this one. It's just kind of like a flat hand effect. And we also do have an accessory for the caking Gochizo, which is awesome. So I believe there's 2 in there, one probably in the Gavv itself. So let's go ahead and take out all of our accessories really quick. Ta-da. I'll probably jump cut to see how to do this. This does look like the cape effects you do put on the back. So that's probably what the part on the box was referring to. So I will probably do that off screen and then kind of describe the best way to apply these. But as you can see, they do have a little bit of a wrap above them before it's the actual cape. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump cut, segue into that. Here we go. All right, so I went ahead and did get the cape effect going on. It's pretty simple. The best way I would have to describe it is you want to do take off the headpiece and then this kind of cake piece, armor, chest plate. You have to take that off as well. From there, you do apply the kind of like cape effect. It's not silk, it's more of like a matte plastic, I would say. It's or like a saran. Maybe I'm thinking of a bad material. But pretty much all you do is there's these little pegs. There's 2 on the middle ones. You line them up and then you put the chest piece back on because the chest piece has 2 pegs that go in. So you put them, insert there, and it's the same type of deal with these as well. So you take off the caking shoulder pad effect piece and then you insert the kind of like ribbon-esque cape and then you put it back down so it holds it all together. So it's not too hard. I guess they only do it like that because if you did it like this in the box, this would all get messed up. And that's honestly what I'm kind of worried about. I'm kind of worried that this is going to get messed up if I just like put articulation on it or like stuff like that. So I'll have to see how it works. I'm a little nervous on that aspect just because like I don't want it to rub against one another and then like it ends up like tearing over time. That's like my biggest concern. But for now, it is complete and it does look pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure you can like mold it the way you'd like. So we're not going to do that just yet. But we're going to go ahead and start off with the articulation test first. So starting with the head piece, you can go up. can go down, not too much down, but it can go down. And then obviously it can swivel around. In terms of the arms, we do have full rotation there. And then we can't really come up too high because of this cake effect piece, but we can come inward with the arm there. Can't really go too outward. And then obviously the hand effect piece has its own ball joint to work with. In terms of like the stomach area, we do have a little bit of an abdomen crunch with the upper body. You can twist it, turn it however you'd like, stuff like that. Very nice. Moving on towards the lower body, we do have these kind of like hip effect pieces that are kind of loose. They're just kind of just chilling out there, but they are there. Kick up, not too much in all honesty. It can come around and do that. And then from there, let me see if I can go around town. Nope, it's a little bit hard. Nothing too crazy. You know, that's when you start pushing that little hip piece right there to give you some extra movement. Very nice. A knee joint there. Not too much on the front end, but on the back end, pretty good. And then we do have the foot joint as well. And then last but not least, the toe joint, which doesn't come up too much, but it does come up nonetheless. So pretty standard articulation that you would imagine from a figure like this. Once again, I'm just a little bit worried about these little flaps. I'm just kind of scared that if I pose it and they kind of like get into one another, they might ruin one another. So I'm hoping that might not be the case. Maybe I'm just having a little bit too much fear on that. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty cool. I mean, I skipped over the design aspect, but the design of caking, I absolutely love. It is just such an amazing suit, in my opinion. There you have the caking Gochizo as well. Pretty much popped and ready to go. The top kind of whip effect pieces up here are pretty sharp. They're not like sharp, but they are, they do have some sharpness to them. So just be careful on that end. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some cool poses in for the caking, and then we'll do a comparison with some of the other Kamen Rider Gavv figures we have, and then we'll go ahead and conclude. So let's go ahead and get the different poses set up here. Here we go. All right, so we went with the kind of basic pose with the whippear here. Just kind of super basic in terms of getting the hand effect inside of the whippear hilt. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, so far so good on the cape stuff. I haven't had too much issues on it. Usually it's kind of hard to get stuff like this in there, but it did kind of go in there pretty nicely. So it's been pretty easy, pretty smooth time. And man, I just gotta say once again, I really do love the design. So before we change up into a different pose, we do have the extra caking Gochizo effect, which does go into the whip here directly. So we'll kind of show that off here in a little bit. But man, just the design itself is super cool. Let's go ahead and get this one into more of a dynamic pose to show off a little bit more of what it can do. So here we go. All right, so on this one, we went with the caking breaking pose here, and very cool. As you can see, we do have the whole cake set up. So it's pretty simple. As you'd imagine, you go ahead and put the caking Gochizo, the larger size one, into the whippear. And if you want to give it a little bit more show accuracy, I did take out the one in the Gavv itself because they could not be at the same time at one spot. But pretty cool. I got to admit, pretty cool. You got a lot of dynamic range you can get out of this figure. And as you can see, the cape stuff is still holding up. It kind of looks a little bit awkward, but it is still holding up. It's not been too much of a trouble. So gotta say, pretty impressed with that. And yeah, gotta say, love it. Love the caking breaking. I probably should have done the pose where it's before the like the squeeze effect. But yeah, let's go ahead and get at least one more cool pose in, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up with the comparisons. Here we go. All right, and for our last one, I kind of went with a traditional rider kick here, and I wanted to get it more like that because that's kind of what you see more in the show. I think the first time he uses it in this form, it's whenever Hanto gets the reveal that Shoma is a granite. And man, what a reveal that is. But before that happens, he does try to eliminate Glada with the rider kick in the caking form. And I just love it. I love how it shoots out. It's kind of like a carpet almost, or like kind of like the ribbon effect, the red ribbon. And then all the candles light up as he's going through. Beautiful. Absolutely love that moment so much. But kind of wanted to try and get that the best of my ability. Didn't really work out too well. It can't really look down too well because of the headpiece. It's kind of just like stuck there. So rather unfortunate, but still very cool to see nonetheless. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our comparisons with some of the other Kamen Rider Gavv figures we have, and we will conclude the video. Here we go. All right, so we do have our first comparison here with the popping gummy form as well as the caking form, and I do have both of them holding their blades, which is very cool. Obviously, we do have the popping gummy form in more of like a crouch position, but it's more off to just show off the design aspect of the two. And gotta say, I love the caking one so much. It's just so royal and so cool. And man, this freaking popping gummy one doesn't want to stand still. It's a little bit of a struggle to get it to stand up right without tilting, but still very cool nonetheless to have both forms in there. Let's hopefully, there we go. To have both forms in there, absolutely stellar. Absolutely love the caking. Cannot say it enough. Next up, we do have Valen here as well. So kind of a base pose as well. And man, sometimes I feel like I'm struggling to get them to stand, but together I think they look very nice. The kind of white gold and then the dark brown as well as the nice silver red, both giving it each other very nice complementary color aspect design. And then last but not least, we do have Kamen Rider Ram as well. And yeah, pretty cool. We definitely did see this duo a lot, kind of like in that like 20s period with base Ram and Kaken before Sorbet showed up. But still very, very cool to see one another next to one another. So yeah, that in itself should do it for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of conclude everything. Really like it. I really like the design. I feel like you can get a lot out of it. It is kind of a little bit bulky on the shoulder pad area and kind of like in the chest area. So you might get a little bit of limited articulation, but for the most part, you definitely get a lot out of it. And I think the design itself, if you are a fan of the caking design, I'm not sure there's too many people that do not like the caking design. But I would say if you're a fan, it's very nice. You get in a good pose and just let it sit like that. It is just an absolute beauty to look at. You get a fair amount of accessories. You kind of get just the whip here as well as the extra caking gochizo, so you can do the caking breaking or the whole cake in itself. So very cool, I gotta say. Alternate hand effects or what you'd imagine is kind of like on the basic side. But I'm trying to think of which one is next. I think it might be the Sparking Gummy Bitter Gavv, if I'm correct. I want to say that's next in the line. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I want to say that one or Blizzard Sorbet. And then they did the other ones. They did what is it called? Marble Ray Cookie Bitter Gavv as well. They did do that, and I think they also did the. Did they do the Bray Cookie Bitter Gavv? Not Bake, but the Bray Cookie Bitter Gavv. I want to say they did. They might have done that one as well. But I cannot wait to see some of the more like final forms show up, like a la mode. That one is just awesome. Super clean, sick design, as well as Frappe custom. I cannot wait to get those in Figurarts. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna have to wait, but hopefully it's not too long because I would absolutely love to have all the final forms with Over and Master as well. I do know that the Amazing Gummy Suit did get a Figurarts, but to have like Over and Master and then a la mode as well as Frappe custom would just be, oh man, it would be a cherry on top. It would be cake on ice. I don't know where I was going with that. But with that being said, let me know what you guys thought of the SH Figurarts Kamen Rider Gavv Caking form figure. I gotta say, it is just an absolute beauty to look at. Very, very cool. Got fun amount of articulation, and I'm sure everyone can get some good figure photography out of it. So with that being said, let me know what you guys thought once again of the SH Figurarts Kamen Rider Gavv Caking form figure, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!